Hey, Jason here from Simply Swider. If your Samsung Family Hub refrigerator is displaying error code 41, along with symptoms like unresponsive touch controls, erratic temperature displays, or a frozen smart screen, I'll show you exactly how to fix it step by step. Most of these issues you can tackle yourself without calling in a pro. Before we get started, if you run into any questions, jump into our Facebook group, links in the description. We've got thousands of people helping each other fix their appliances, and I pop in there daily to help out. So the most common culprit here is just a temporary software hiccup. You'll see this pop up as error 41, 42, 41C, or 41E on that Family Hub screen. What's happening is the smart tablet in your door isn't communicating properly with the main refrigerator brain, usually after a power surge or when the firmware gets buggy. I had this customer last month who was freaking out because her fridge suddenly wouldn't respond to touch commands and the temperature display was going crazy. Turned out to be a simple software glitch. Here's what we'll do. This takes about 20 minutes total. First, ensure your safety by unplugging the refrigerator from the wall outlet. Never just turn off the power switch. Wait exactly 15 minutes to allow all capacitors to fully discharge and the system to reset, then plug it back in. Look for the Family Hub reset button. It's at the top inside the door. Press and hold that sucker until the whole system shuts down, then fire it back up. While we're at it, let's update the software. From the Family Hub main menu, tap Settings, then About Family Hub, and hit Software Update. Download whatever's available and toggle on automatic updates so this doesn't happen again. If that reboot didn't clear things up, we're probably looking at a physical wiring issue. The variants like 41C or 41E usually point to the cables that run between your main control board and that door display. Here's the thing about these Family Hub models, those cable harnesses near the door hinge take a beating every time you open and close that door. I've seen these cables break from fatigue more times than I can count. You'll know it's a wiring problem when the error persists after multiple reboots and software updates. Before you start tearing into anything, make sure that fridge is unplugged. Look for the ribbon cables and wire harnesses connecting the door display to the main refrigerator body. Inspect for bent pins, burnt or corroded connectors, cracked cable sheathing, or loose connections. Gently disconnect each connector. You should hear a small click, then firmly reconnect it. This simple reset can fix loose connections that cause intermittent communication errors. But if you see actual physical damage to the harness, you're going to need to replace those cables. When software updates and wiring checks don't solve it, we're dealing with actual board failure. This is where things get expensive. You'll know it's hardware failure when the Family Hub is completely unresponsive. You can't access any menus, the ice maker stops working, and temperature readings fluctuate wildly between 30 and 50 degrees. This often indicates component failure, like a bad diode on the power control board. You'll know it's a board problem when you see physical damage like swollen components, burnt traces, or cold solder joints. The tricky part is figuring out which board is the problem. Could be the display board in the door or the main control board. If your system is completely locked up and won't respond to anything, it's probably the Family Hub module that needs replacing. But if the main functions are acting weird while the display seems fine, you're looking at mainboard failure. Here's something that doesn't happen often, but I've seen it in some older Samsung models. Error code 41 can actually be tied to defrost system problems. This usually happens when you've got ice buildup in the evaporator that's messing with the sensors. You'll know this is the issue if you're seeing cooling problems along with the error code, or if your freezer temps are running high. The defrost cycle isn't working right, ice builds up where it shouldn't, and the system throws error 41 because it can't figure out what's going on. If you suspect this is your problem, you'll need to check the defrost system components and clear any ice buildup. Now, error code 41 on these Family Hub models is basically telling you there's a communication breakdown somewhere in the system. Could be the smart display talking to the main board, could be a software glitch, or might be actual hardware that's gone bad. I'm going to walk you through these fixes from simplest to most complex, so we're not throwing expensive parts at a problem that might just need a good reboot. The Family Hub module or display PCB is what controls all those smart functions, network connections, and temperature displays you see on the door. Replacement costs vary by component. LED power boards run about $13 to $25 for open box parts, while complete user control and display boards cost $200 to $255. The exact price depends on your model number and which specific component has failed. You can find these parts at appliance parts dealers or online. Now, here's the thing, this repair is definitely worth doing if your fridge is otherwise solid. Way cheaper than buying a whole new family hub refrigerator. The installation is moderately tricky since you're dealing with electronics, but it's doable if you're comfortable with that kind of work. The main PCB is the brain of your whole refrigerator operation. When this goes bad, you're typically looking at $29 to $120 for the part, depending on whether you go bulk or get an inverter specific board. This is what communicates with that family hub display. So when it fails, you get communication errors like our code 41. Replacing the main board is definitely a more advanced repair. You're dealing with multiple wire harnesses and need to be careful about static discharge. If you're not comfortable with electronics work, this might be where you call someone like me. The wiring harnesses that connect your door display to the main body of the fridge don't have a set price since they're usually part of larger assemblies, but you're typically looking at the cost of wire and labor to repair them. These are the cables that run through the door hinge area and take a beating over time. The good news is this is often a repair job rather than a full replacement. Sometimes you can fix a broken wire or replace just the damaged connector. If you're handy with a soldering iron, this can be a pretty affordable fix. The power control board manages electrical distribution throughout your fridge. Parts typically run about $57 to $71. I've mentioned that bad diode earlier. That's the kind of failure you might see on this board. Look for visible signs like swollen capacitors or burnt traces. This is another one where the repair difficulty is pretty high unless you've got electronics experience. The tricky part is diagnosing which board is actually the problem, since a power delivery issue can make it look like other components have failed. Now, you can see right there on your screen the most commonly affected models. Family hub refrigerators in general are prone to this error code since they've got all that smart technology that can glitch out. Take a look and see if your model number matches up with what's displayed. Might give you some insight into whether this is a known issue for your specific unit. So that's how you tackle Samsung error code 41. Start with the 15-minute power reset and software update first. This simple fix resolves error code 41 in about 70% of cases, potentially saving you hundreds in repair costs. If the error comes back, check your wiring harnesses for damage, especially around that door hinge. And if you're still stuck, it's likely a board failure that's going to need professional diagnosis to avoid throwing expensive parts at the wrong problem. One more thing. If your fridge is still under warranty, especially that 10-year coverage on the digital inverter compressor, contact Samsung before you start replacing anything. If you guys know someone who's having appliance troubles, please send them the link to this video or a link to my channel where I have tons of other videos showing how to fix pretty common issues with appliances, sometimes for free or as little cost as possible. It sure beats having a repairman come out and spending several hundred for them to fix it when it could be something so simple. If this helped you get your family hub working again, hit that like button and drop a comment below. Let me know which fix worked for you. Really helps other people with the same problem. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. We'll get this out to more folks who need to save some time and money. Thanks for watching, and I hope you guys have a great day.